Okay, another episode of Cooking with Gigi. So I'm going to have some supper tonight. I've been cooking all day making Christmas goodies. And so I'm going to make some air fryer pork chops. I think that sounds really good. So I have 1.5 pounds of pork chops. And I want to dry my pork chops. So I'm doing that now. I've taken some paper towel and I'm drying my pork chops off. And then I need to get a bowl that I meant to do, and I didn't get it, but I'm gonna get it now. And I'm gonna put a couple of tablespoons of regular oil in my bowl. I have my air fryer on 400. My air fryer is my oven. My oven has an air fryer in it, so I'm very fortunate to have that. So just a couple tablespoons of oil. And I'm going to put in some panko in a bowl here in a minute. We're going to roll our pork chops in the panko. So we're going to lay the pork chops into the oil like so. This. Get it all in there. And I'm going to mix up some panko for my breading. And in that I'm going to need, let's see, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. Here's my 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. Let me turn that over here where you can see where I'm mixing that up. Well, we have 2 or 3 inches of snow out there. I'm not exactly sure how much. I've heard different things, but it was enough that you needed to do a little shoveling. Okay, panko's going in, and that's 3/4 cup of panko. 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. 1 teaspoon of that. I'm having trouble getting my little lids to come off. I love my little spice jars, but sometimes they can be frustrating to get that little sprinkle lid off. I should just leave it off, I guess. Okay, 1 teaspoon Italian seasoning. We're gonna want some paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. All right. Here's my 1/2 teaspoon. You know, you want your seasonings when you're doing things. Seasonings can really make a difference. 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. So I've got my pepper. I do love pepper. And I know there's salt. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Here's my 1/2 teaspoon of salt. All right. And I have everything else in there, so I'm just going to stir that up, get that all mixed together so that, you know, your seasonings are in your breading. Like so. I have not had pork chops for a long time, so I'm kind of excited to have pork chops tonight. I had them in my freezer, and I thought, what could I make that's different? I eat a lot of chicken. I was kind of tired of the chicken. And I have had chili recently that I made. I think you saw my episode of my chili. Okay, so now I do have my cookie sheet here that I'm using with some parchment paper. I'm going to take this big pork chop, use it first, get some oil on it, put some oil on both sides. I did dry them off with some paper towel. You've got your seasonings in there, so you should be good. So we're putting this breading with panko and seasonings all over your pork chop, kind of pushing it into it so that it'll stick good. And then we're going to just take it out, put it on our cookie sheet. We're going to have about 3 pork chops on there. Here's number 2 pork chop. I'm excited to try this. It's been a long time since I've made any pork chops, and usually I put them in the crock pot, or I have skillet fried them, or put them on the grill. So this will be a little something different. Looking forward to it. So I'm gonna finish getting all of these crispies on my pork chops, and we'll get ready to put them in the oven. The oven is about ready. Okay, so I do have my pork chops here on my cookie sheet, and you want to spritz a little oil on them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use a little bit of Pam, and that's supposed to help your breading get more crisped up. So I'll do that. If you have a special oil bottle that has regular oil in it, you can do that too. So I'm going to put these pork chops into my air fryer in my oven and let them bake for about 12 minutes. The first 6 minutes I'm going to let them bake, then I'm going to flip them over and let them bake another 6 minutes. I will test them with my thermometer. They need to be at 145 to be done. So we'll get those in the oven and I'll be back. Okay, I have taken my pork chops out after 6 minutes, and I'm gonna turn them over. And when I turn them over, I'm gonna spray the other side with some of the Pam. Okay, there we go. Put them back in the oven for another 6 minutes, and I will test them at that point. Make sure that they're done before I decide to eat them. Okay, going back in the oven. Okay, I have taken the pork chops out of the oven, and I'm going to check the temperature. This is the second I turned them over, and I have a really nice temperature reader here. And I'm gonna stick it in. I have a feeling they're gonna need a little more time. They just don't look done enough to me. Well, it says it's about 169, 170 in there. And I think this one's about the same. They need to be at 145. Well, they're all above 145. So we will go ahead and let them rest for 5 minutes, and then we'll give them a bite. Here is my pork chop that I'm going to try. It needs to rest about 3 more minutes. It needs to rest for 5 minutes before you try it. So as soon as the time is up, I'll be back. Okay, so my pork chop has rested for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little cut off of it here and give it a try. I bet you guys get tired of watching me take bites of these good looking things. All right, here we go. Pork chop. It looks tender. It's got some breading. Yummy, yummy. Well done. I mean, it's tender. It is done. It is juicy, crispy on the outside. I was getting hungry too. All this baking and cooking makes a person want to eat. I hate to talk with my mouth full. So anyway, I will be putting this recipe on my channel. And so please give me a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe.